1 in 5 estate agents are dyslexic. Today, I'm joined by the wonderful Jayne Twiddle, who is an estate agent from York and former National Operations Director for Hunters. Thanks for joining me today, Jayne. 1 in 5 people in the UK, which means 1 in 5 estate agents, are dyslexic, including you.
Yes, that's right.
But only 1 in 6 employers have a good understanding of what dyslexia.
That's apt.
There you go. What does dyslexia look like to you?
Looks like to me, I struggle very much with writing. For example, if you gave me a flip chart to write on and to speak at the same time, I'd absolutely shrink down. That's a big no-no for me. I have real problems with, I used to have real problems with writing details. I used to have a great neg where I would use my dictaphone and go around and he would type up the details and make them look good and all that. So shout out to Ian Dunlop, who's a Hunter's estate agent now. But yeah, he used to do that for me. And the other things that I struggle with, which you've just heard now, is actually getting sometimes my thoughts said out my
Getting it out your
getting
head.
it out of my head. I think an awful lot, but it can be going off in different tangents and trying to get that out properly as to what I want to say. Digesting information, if I'm in a big meeting, a board meeting, for example, and I'm getting lots of things thrown at me, I enjoy it. I love sitting back and listening, but I'm digesting, and it's very difficult for me to then start speaking up. I need to have time to digest the information.
You're a bit of a reflector.
Very much so. And it's not that I haven't got things to say, I absolutely do, but I need to digest the information first.
So it's not just a case of people with bad spelling or something like that?
No, definitely not. And I think that's I think sometimes that's the perception of dyslexia. We're all having problems saying that.
It's interesting because I have a blind spot against double L's. I just cannot see them.
Yep.
Okay. Even if you actually put it on the grid, I just can't see them.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought, well, but then what I didn't realise that dyslexia, sometimes I find it difficult to put my words together. And I know you could say, well, hold on a second, you're being filmed here. Well, again, you've watched it. There's plenty left that gets cut out. But sometimes I didn't realise that could be a little bit of dyslexia.
Yeah, yeah. And that's right. And people can have a little bit, there's different scales of it, definitely. But there's also a big thing called dyslexic thinking. Okay, because it's not always a negative, I think. And the positive thing is dyslexic thinking enables you to think in a different way, or more empathically almost. I think that's the thing.
Okay.
And speaking to people and understanding people is people like dyslexics make extremely good relationship builders, actually, because it's that side of the brain that the personality skills not only is more apparent in dyslexics, they've had to work on the personality skills to get on with people, to sort of cover up some of the other stuff that they can't do.
It's interesting. I know in a previous video we were talking about mental health, and the fact that your youngest daughter was a high functioning autistic person. We've had a number of people on this sofa who have been with ADHD,
right? Yep.
Who are truly exceptional estate agents, and they have all the traits of a great estate agent. They're people orientated and they use their persuasive skills, but they've actually harnessed their they're not autistic or ADHD, and I think there's a little. They're not the same, autism and ADHD, but they're in the same sort of ballpark, aren't
definitely.
they? Is that they've used these for the power of good, to help them.
Yes.
I mean, huge one is Jonathan Hanford, who's temporary CEO of Fine and Country.
Right.
I mean, he's on the scale. He is on the scale, but he's used those skills.
Yeah. And if
to its advantage.
If you think now, Chris, that in 2025, it's said that 50% of the work will be shared, the work of an estate agent, or the work in life will be shared 50% and 50%, 50% by machines, AI, and 50% by people. Now, whether or not you believe that, I don't know. But what I've found is that now, absolutely brilliant. I don't need to be able to worry necessarily too much about my spelling, my grammar and things like that, because AI can look at that. There's an awful lot of tasks that AI can do for me that means that I can really now use the things that I am absolutely good at.
The empathy skills, the people skills.
That side of things. And that's going to become more and more relevant in terms of the fact that employers need to be looking for more people that have these skills.
So actively go looking.
Absolutely actively go looking for these people, because AI is going to be able to do the task-based things, but they're never going to be able to replace the humanized things. And we are a people business. So why not start to really actively look at these people and make it easier for them to get employed?
How would you go about that?
Well, some of the things, for example, if you look at traditional recruitment, I'm not saying everybody does it like this, but an awful lot of recruitment is done by an application form. So first of all, the first thing an employer is going to see is an application form filled out. Now, they might say, rubbish grammar, rubbish spelling. How are they ever going to write any details or do anything like that? No, put that. The first thing is perhaps more video type of recruitment applications, so that a person can get across their personality more rather than having to come up with all the skills. They might have been absolutely like I am or was, shocking at school in terms of any exams to show. So putting exams down, you know, I think it forms a part, but that's not going to be great. If you're going in then you get past that, if you get past the application side and you get invited to an interview, perhaps you might be sitting down with an aptitude test or something like that, which again might not be something that people can do all quickly enough. They might need to be able to have more time to do something like that. But the biggest thing is that maybe putting on the advert that you're doing, you know, that you are looking for these type of people, or that you are, I don't know, neurodivergent, I can't remember the phrase, but neurodivergent aware, or that you are open to people coming like that, that you're open to attracting. There'll be a phrase, I'm sure, and it'd be clearer than what I've said.
Yeah, and probably even put that out into local Facebook groups.
Exactly, and make it something that becomes more normal, so that somebody coming, you know, applying can actually say, yes, well, I am actually this, whatever their label is, I am actually this, but this enables me to do all of this. And those are the skills that we need to be able to champion and get
especially on. With this, you know, with AI and things that's going to do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
It's a people business, a agency. So let's find the people that are the best people for the job.
That's exactly it. Because I bet you the best value is anybody's ever had have probably had some sort of neurodivergency.
Hence what we said earlier on.
That's exactly it. I was just going to say the other thing is that LinkedIn even have now the skill is dyslexic thinking. You can put on your profile on LinkedIn. So I think people should do things like that now.
Thank you for your time today, Jayne.
Thank you.